I'll carve you up. While you blink. Is it my turn? Is it going to
What's up, guys? This is Astranox. It's time for the showcase of Cidd. He has 3 exclusive equipments, and one of them is amazing for PvP. So I've been using Cidd since the game got released over 3 years ago, guys. I mean, Cidd's my boy. This is a hero that's amazing for single target bursts. You're trying to cleave, you need speed imprint to outspeed the enemy. This hero is really good for a 4-star hero. And with his exclusive equipment, one of them now allows him to be at elemental advantage when he uses skill 3 without having the speed buff. So he can open up and attack whatever element. You can just open up against a fire hero and be at elemental advantage. This is amazing. His stats, it's the same way that I've had him built for a long time now. High speed, high crit damage. He has pretty high attack, but he has an extra damage multiplier. It's based on his speed, guys. The other exclusive equipments, they are for PvE content. CR pushback 30% when you use skill 3. You won't use that in PvP because you're trying to take out the opponent with the skill 3 so you can get an extra turn and potentially take out someone else with skill 1. This one is also good for PvE content, 35% chance to speed down for 2 turns, so debuffs are actually pretty powerful in PvE content, but you're not gonna have time in PvP to, you know, it's a chance, not 100% chance, right? PvP battles with a hero like that happen real quick, so of course you want to be using that exclusive equipment for PvE content, both of them, right? But the one that I'm using is really good for PvP. It is pretty insane what you're able to do with Cidd. It opens a lot of doors, and now, even if the enemy has, you know, a fire hero, 2 fire hero, you can make things happen with Cidd, and you won't feel too bad if you have him. You know, you picked him for World Arena, maybe earlier on, and the enemy like decide to go with like double fire. You can still like come back from that. So that's really cool right there. And you will see Cidd is just dealing a ton of damage throughout my battles. Definitely a hero that is a game changer. Definitely when you take out someone with the skill number 3, guys, you get an extra turn. It is insanely powerful. That is why I'm running him on Wind Rider artifact. I feel like since I'm gonna, well, it's not a guarantee I'm gonna down someone with the skill number 3, but the game plan is to take out someone with S3, right? But then Wind Rider gives him stealth, and he deals so much more damage, up to 60% more damage. You know, he's got the 50%, I believe, attack increase passive at plus 30 artifact enhancement, and you can get 45% attack increase when it's maxed out after you down someone. That is a big deal because it stacks with attack buff, guys, and if you have speed buff on him, and he has that extra speed multiplier, which is like pretty intense. If you have 10 souls, you soul burn the skill number 3, like the damage that he's able to output is completely crazy, guys. So like, you will be seeing throughout my battles, I'm gonna be bringing Cidd in World Arena. I'm gonna be bringing Cidd in Guild War. It's been a while, and I can't wait to just test him out in a bunch of places and test him up in a bunch of different team compositions. And you will see me using him in a lot of different team comps. I'm rotating heroes here and there, and I'll show all my stats at the end of the video. But he's definitely a very strong pick. What I like about Cidd is that I can just pick him, and I have a speed imprint, and I don't have to worry about if the enemy is going to counter AoE. If they're trying to counter like cleave play, right? I'm fine. I'm using Cidd, which is a single target damage dealer, and overall like single target damage dealers are going to be dealing more damage to the target than a hero that attacks everyone. Of course, you're focusing that damage, and especially if he's powered up, if he's buffed up, man, the attack buff, if he has a speed buff, and he can get critical hit damage buff from one of the it's a chance on his passive, right? He has a few buff that he's able to get, and it's just gonna push his damage even further. So you don't want to build him with more than 300% crit damage, because if he gets the crit damage buff, you want to fully use that, right? So that's something else that you want to keep in mind. But I really like that I can build a lot of speed on my Cidd because he's got 124 base speed. Great hero for a speed set. And I have him on penetration because I want to push that single target damage as high as possible. And I believe it to be the optimal build for Cidd. It's just mind-blowing type of damage you're able to dish out with that much speed on this hero. Now his exclusive equipment allows him to get some effectiveness, which is good because he's got, you know, the defense break on skill number 1. He could potentially have the speed down on the skill number 1 if you're using that exclusive equipment, you know, in PvE content, let's say. But the one that I'm using now, the one that gives him elemental advantage with the skill 3 without the speed buff, is very, very strong, right? Elemental advantage means that you just open up against a fire hero. Like, your options, they're wide open, right? You can decide who you want to just blow up with Cidd, and it feels really good. I believe when you are at elemental advantage, you're also dealing extra damage. Yes, you're dealing, I believe, 10% extra damage, so that's also very good to allow you to one-shot someone, especially when you don't have access to maybe an attack buff on him. So yeah, it's not that easy to always have an attack buff on him. It will depend who you're fighting. You know, maybe you can't bring that certain attack buffing hero in your team because you gotta counter what the enemy is throwing at you, right? So you're able to see that he's dealing a ton of damage. He's not a selfish hero, especially in PvE content, because those defense break on skill 1 are super, super strong. Very strong stuff. I don't have him built with effectiveness beside what he gets from the exclusive equipment, but in PvE content, you want to build him with effectiveness. You'll definitely be putting that those defense breaks to good use, right? So you can see here, like in the opening of the video, I have this 1v3, right? And you can see the damage that he's able to deal, guys. There is Aureus on Fawn CC, right? Lionheart Surmia is a very tanky hero with high defense, and he's able to just pop her. He has crit damage. I'm not sure if he had attack buff actually, but you can see he has so much speed with speed buff, right? It's over 300 speed with speed buff, and he was able to go twice, right? If I was able to outspeed this Fallen CC, if I had just a bit more health, I could have taken her out because his skill 3 was going to be ready, right? So you can see the potential of that hero. Like, he snowballs real hard when he gets buffed up. It's ridiculous. But unfortunately, my team got clapped because, I mean, you know, Apocalypse Ravi is so cancerous. Lionheart Surmia, if she gets to go with her skill 3, especially built on a slow build, right? She's gonna hit so hard, like I showcased her already. So you can see that you can just incorporate him in so many different teams, but I especially like to have him in a speed team. Like a real speed team, I'm talking about speed imprint hero, especially for free-to-play players like myself. You want to be stacking those speed imprint because you won't have the luxury of having these insane speed pieces of gear, right? Because these are so hard to obtain, and when you're going against a player that just farms so much, has so much speed on that 128, 129 base speed hero, they're just going to end up having over 300 speed without requiring a speed imprint, and you need to be putting you know, as many chances on your side. You want to just have a better chance to open up against them. There is the RNG on the initial turn. What is it again? Is it plus minus 5%, you know, of your speed, or it's 2.5%? But that variation, that randomness, allows the enemy to outspeed you often because of that, if you are at about the same amount of speed, right? I like to stack, yeah, speed imprint, like I said. I want to have heroes with a lot of speed. I want to have synergy between my heroes in my team. Like Pavo here was able to apply attack buff on Cidd because he had the highest attack in my team. Funny enough, right? Like, that is on purpose. Politis has less attack than Cidd, so I can put attack buff on my Cidd using my Pavo, and I can just deal a ton of damage, and it feels really good. And it sort of like guarantees that he's gonna pop someone with the skill number 3, right? Especially when you don't have an Aureus. It's just so much damage, man. So much damage. It feels good. Definitely a hero that plays really well. A lot of players have not used Cidd forever, basically, but I'm sure I convinced a lot of players to actually start using him. It's not for everyone. Your playstyle need to be like, you know, speedy. You need to be running a speed team. You know, you're gonna go with some single target, you're gonna go with some cleaving, you're gonna mix it up, you're gonna go pure single target. Maybe you're cleaving, but you're trying to get more speed to outspeed the enemy. Doesn't matter. When you're going speed versus speed, usually, you know, the team are pretty weak. They're not tanky. So whoever goes first wins in a lot of times. Now, there's Arbiter Vilgit, of course, and he's dangerous. The enemy might pick Arbiter Vilgit when you're trying to speed cleave, speed single target burst, but Cidd, you can pick him, and then he can counter Arbiter Vilgit, which is great. You can just double tap RB, and with Wind Rider, you can, you know, sort of guarantee you're going to be able to pull it off because the damage is going to be boosted on the second attack on the skill number 1, and RB is just going to get clapped. And I've noticed that many times the skill number 3 and the skill number 1 with Wind Rider activated is about the same damage, so that definitely feels good. And you can see here, I mean, don't need the speed buff. You just have the exclusive equipment now. You just open up versus fire. It feels good. And yeah, that's one less thing you have to worry about. And that was an issue with Cidd. No more. No more. So definitely opening a lot of options. You guys will be seeing more of Cidd on my channel. I love that hero, man. You guys know about it. You guys that, you know, watching me, this is a Game God release especially. But let us know what you guys think about Cidd in the comment section. Are you thinking about building Cidd? What type of team you're going to be running him with? Maybe you have some cool team composition that you're planning to use him in. Let us know all about all that in the comment section. That's it for this one. I'm Astranox. Good luck with all ya do. It's out for now.